All right, YouTube, Donald Trump has showed superior intelligence to Barack Obama by navigating around the trap that he so obviously is trying to set for him. The trap is this. I alluded to it earlier. Other people have caught on to this, by the way. It's not difficult to fucking understand what the Obamas and Clintons, in collusion, I'm sure, are trying to do to Donald Trump right now. They're trying to set up to fuck his presidency, at least the sort of first 100 days, the bellwether of how he'll do, by souring relations between the United States and Russia based on zero evidence that they have given to the public. Just shy of treasonous, they're literally warmongering right now. They're trying to fuck around based on no evidence with a foreign state, which has nuclear weapons, by the way, just to fuck up the incoming administration a little bit more. That's how sour grapes Obama is. That's how much of a fucking retarded whiner Hillary Clinton is. You don't need to be a strong Trump supporter to realize what they're doing is wrong. They're doing this for personal reasons and for political reasons. They're not doing it to benefit the United States of America. They're not doing it to benefit NATO. They're not doing it to benefit even globalism, which is already dying anyway, so good riddance. They're not going to be able to really save it, I think. What they're doing, the idea is this. You announce the Russians fucked with the election in some imaginary way. They're not willing to tell us exactly how. They're not willing to show us any actual evidence beyond complete conjecture. They say just listen to the intelligence agencies that worked so well right before we invaded Iraq. Because all these agencies told us, yeah, Saddam has, like, sarin, he has botulism, he probably has nukes, or at least something, he has dirty bombs, certainly, in his pants, maybe, after he eats too much chickpea and curry mash. But, yeah, he has all sorts of WMDs, and he's going to use them on Israel, he's going to use them on the Saudis, he's going to kill everybody in his path, and he'll probably butcher his way through us, too. Oh, and by the way, he's working with the Iranians to build nukes. None of this was true, but they told us it at the time. What about the Gulf of Tonkin intelligence agencies? Oh, commies are fucking with us. We have to attack now because it's an act of war. Turns out that's not actually what happened. It took them 40 years to declassify the report saying so. So it'll be a cold day in fucking hell when I trust Uncle Sam or any so-called intelligence agency at face value when they're telling me something. Because when they're not willing to give you evidence, they're probably lying. They've done this before in recent history. It wasn't that long ago that we invaded Iraq. Can the left, for a moment, wake up, put on its adult pants, stop crapping the shit out of its own diapers, and realize how closely related the activities of the outgoing Obama administration right now are to the incoming Bush administration right before Iraq? Can you please try to realize the similarities there? Think what you want about Trump. Think of all you want about what he said about banning people from certain parts of the world, having a heavy vetting process or whatever term he's using for it nowadays, the wall or fence or moat or whatever the fuck he wants to build on the southern border. What the hell else you think about his tax plan, it doesn't really matter. What Obama and Clinton and all of their ilk are doing right now is so totally wrong, so totally counterproductive, and so obviously designed for one single purpose. And that purpose is simple. Sour relations with Russia, step one. Step two, wait and see what Trump does. Does he continue with the apparently official government line of, yeah, we're going to perturb the Russians, and thus allay the fears of like the center left that thinks that he's a Russian agent? Or does he fix the problem because Obama is causing a problem, again, based on zero evidence? Be a cold day in hell before I fucking trust almost anything he says after the ACA crap about keeping your own doctor. Thanks, Obama. Or does he fix the problem and then the media, and this is the point, they're expecting him to, you know, alleviate the fears of the Russians. Then they say, aha, he's a Russian agent, he's soft on Russia, he's, you know, he's an evil bigot, he likes Putin because Putin hates gay people or something like that. That's the plan. It's as simple as that. Now, it's easily sidestepped, and you see Trump doing that now. He praised Putin earlier. Oh, yeah, Putin's very smart. I told you, very smart man for not trying to sanction the United States, you know, go into some sort of retarded sanction war with its vassals or something like that. You don't have to like the Russian state, but it's not, we're not the ones in control of it. They also happen to have a lot of nuclear weapons. They also happen to have a habit, as we do, of perturbing us just as we perturb them. But cracking down on the diplomatic side when you haven't even given anybody in the US or Russia evidence any wrongdoing occurred, let alone something that would rise to the level of outright fraud or rigging. That's just sour grapes. It's Obama mouthing off. It's Hillary Clinton probably more than it is Obama. She's probably paying him off to do this crap. I doubt he really cares that much. He's sort of built his presidency on the idea of I'm better than you and I'm better than everybody else in the world, but at the same time you're not allowed to say that because you're a racist if you do. That's what Obama comes off as to me, a jackass. He's a jackass. That's what he is. He pretends to care about the poor while grinding them into the ground. He pretends to care about the kids. We must stop gun crime. We must, these kids malnourished. We need more food stamps, better school lunches. And then he bombs them to shit over in Yemen. Save me your fucking crocodile tears, you jackass. That's what he is. And now look how much of a jackass he's being. He's using the fact that a lot of people right now are worried that Trump happens to be under the thumb of a foreign state to try to enforce that view using the captive media that's going to do whatever the hell he and Clinton say to begin with, because they all absolutely love him because he grants them interviews and gets them bank kickbacks and foreign kickbacks, just like the Saudis funding the Clinton Foundation. If anybody's under the thumb of a foreign entity, it's not Donald Trump, it's Hillary Clinton, and probably Obama, and probably John Kerry, probably every fucking other person associated with them. They're the ones doing that. They're trying to trick you into believing, yeah, Trump is an agent of the evil Putinist Russians by making the situation impossible for him so that he has to do something to heal the relationship, even if it's half-assed. He could throw them a literal bare bones sort of thing. He could write a half-assed compliment for Putin, leave it at that for 4 years. They'd still be trying to convince people that he was an agent of the Kremlin. That's how retarded it really is. It's an attempt, and a failure of an attempt, by Obama to set a trap for the incoming administration. But it didn't work. Trump doesn't care if you think that he's soft on Russia. Good. That's the proper response. Many people in this country understand the collusion between the legacy, dying, lamestream corporate media apparatus, the Obamas and Bushes of the world. We realize that they're all in cahoots. They're all corrupt. They don't care about anybody else in the country but themselves and their extended circle of friends and acquaintances. That's all they care about. They don't care if you wither and die. They don't care if your kids get thrown into an oven. They don't care if your wife gets her head smashed in. They don't care if you get shot in an alleyway. They don't care. They don't care if you get nuked. That's why they're willing to play this stupid game with Russia. Obama's playing chicken with the Russians right now. People are worried about Trump starting a new Cold War. Are you nuts? You'd have to be. You have to be fucking retarded to think that that's how things work. Yeah, save me the crocodile tears of all this retarded social justice warrior, moralistic bullcrap. At the same time, you're saying, we must save we must save secularity. Secularity's great. And women's rights are great, and gay rights are great. But Islam preaches against these things in its more extreme forms. Well, that's just okay. You're traditionally oppressed. Save me the moralism. You sound more and more like the dying embers of McCarthyism to me. You really do. You're going after Russia. You're encouraging religious cults that openly celebrate when gays or, disobedient children get, stoned or something. You sound an awful lot like a bunch of total retards. Like a bunch of tinfoil hat wearers, which is, oddly enough, the same title you use to denote people who think that the government under Obama ever did anything wrong. You're that dumb. There's no left anymore. You're not a bunch of hippies. Own up to what you really are. You're statists. You're authoritarians. And you're worried somehow about fascism despite living under it for decades. What the hell are you worried about? You've been living under basically fascism light. What's the point of complaining now? What, because it's a white man who happens to be running the country instead of a black man, suddenly fascism is worse? You're going to get what you paid for. You're the ones who wanted it in the first place. People like me didn't support the Patriot Act. You did. You were the ones worried about some Allah Akbar turban-wearing idiot named Osama over in the desert. You're the one that was worried about that. I didn't give a fuck. I said, it's kind of a suspicious day now, isn't it? And then Obama comes out and says, I killed Osama. Yeah, right, he died years ago. Benazir Bhutto got assassinated for saying so, who is the head of state of Pakistan, where Osama was anyway. She said he died of renal failure. Years and years before you supposedly killed him. I'm going to trust Benazir Bhutto on this one because I think she was killed for knowing just a little bit too much. I'm not going to trust Obama. He provided no evidence of that either. If the government makes a claim that is even slightly out of the ordinary, here's the key. If the claim is something ordinary, oh, well, yeah, tax revenue was $10 higher. Okay, go ahead and believe it. It's not earth-shattering. It doesn't change anybody's life. Nobody cares. Oh, unemployment ticked up, 0.5%. Unemployment ticked down 0.5%. The debt grew by $1 billion over this hour-long period. Okay, go ahead and believe them. When it makes a claim that's a little bit more spectacular than that, don't trust them unless they give you evidence. Don't trust them. Oh, we killed Osama bin Laden. No, you didn't. I don't believe it. I don't believe it because I don't have any evidence that you did. Oh, Saddam had WMDs. I didn't believe it at the time. Most people did. Your loss. You're the one that was wrong. You were wrong. Provably so. They never found them. They didn't exist. We were lied to. Why is it so hard for people on the left to comprehend the concept that just because Obama has a D after his name, he happens to be a Democrat, doesn't mean he's always magically telling you the truth? The Republicans thought that about Bush. You're so stupid thinking that way. Just a bunch of total hack partisans. Making me sick over here. That's how stupid it really is. You are actually under the delusion that one corporation-sponsored, bank-backed party full of a bunch of really boring rich people is more honest than the other. That's crazy. It's lunacy. It's insanity, really. In the most total of ways, it's insanity. You have to be nuts to think that that's actually the case. You can't even see. You're so blind. You think that Trump's like some Uber Hitler or something like that. You're so blind by what the media has told you about the incoming administration, you can't see what the current administration's doing. Look back at what some of the presidents have done the last few weeks. Bush basically did nothing and disappeared. Good riddance. It was good that he disappeared and didn't do too much. Bill Clinton, he pardoned a bunch of mafiosos so he could embezzle tens of millions of dollars. Don't give me any crap about that either. I'm sure that's what he was doing. What's Obama doing? Oh, he's trying to sour relations between the two monopolar nuclear states of the world to start a new Cold War so he can blame it on Donald Trump. You think that people like me aren't going to notice that what's happening and tell others about that fact? It hasn't escaped notice. I keep seeing more and more people wising up to the fact that this is exactly what's going on. It's so obvious. You don't need to be some tinfoil hat nut to see what fucking is going on here. We've been given no evidence. Who benefits from this claim? Obama and Clinton. Nobody else. Do the American people benefit? It doesn't help the so-called situation that you haven't proven exists to sanction the Russians over hacking that you can't prove even happened. It doesn't help any of us. It only helps your political prospects, I suppose. And if people largely wise up to the fact of why you're doing this, it's going to hurt your political prospects. I think it's a desperate gamble, honestly, on the part of the establishment. Not just the Democrats. I'm not just blaming them. You think the Bushes aren't happy? They're not gloating over this? Of course they are. I think it's great. John McCain's probably involved too. Fucking John McLame. I don't know why they voted for him again. Get that idiot out of office. Put him in the funny farm where he belongs. He's been crazy for a very long time. That's about all. Peace out.